Hi, Michele Tittler here from the political organization and race-based law. This is 24 hours after I put up the video saying there was no genocide to the Canadian Aboriginals. And our page was absolutely pummeled with whatever Aboriginals across Canada I have not yet banned for being abusive to us, to Canadians. The ones that were left came and abused us very badly the last 24 hours. And so this is my follow-up video. And I have to tell you honestly, there is no question about it that the lying problem in the Aboriginal Indian industry has grown. I mean, it's absolutely grown into this monstrous story that nobody can retrieve anymore. It's just so far out in left field that you natives now have to listen very carefully. I have been sitting in a seat where I have listened to Aboriginals from across the country. Do not come to any of us and say, get an education. First of all, the natives in all the stats, it's been proved, are the least educated people in all of communities, in all of Canada. We already know that there's a real lack in education and that the standards need to be raised. So don't come to general, regular Canadians and start telling them that they need an education. When it comes to this Native Studies thing that you're referring to, there is so much revisionist history and lying that's going on and exaggerations. It's absolutely phenomenal. Mostly, let's just put it this way, constant focus on anything negative. It is a definite campaign, a script. We heard it from coast to coast. There is definitely an industry that has scripted the dialogue for the natives. The native youth come and repeat the same thing from coast to coast all the way across country. We hear this scripted dialogue. It seems to be the only thing they really know is that they're victims of genocide. It's absolutely horrible. There was no genocide in Canada. Every different culture and race died of diseases like smallpox. It ran rampant. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of people died. Absolutely staggering amounts. 1 in 3 people. Carts coming down the street in the morning saying, bring out your dead. I mean, imagine how devastating that was for Europeans, for any country that went through this kind of a disease sweeping. I mean, and they didn't have the technology at that time to figure out how those diseases were spread, but they did find out, and that's why when we developed inoculations and things like that, I mean, it's just terrible the way that you treat people. It's absolutely terrible the way that you treat people, the way you treat history, the way you treat the existence of other races here. Your current generation of youth have to be the most ill-mannered, rude, gangster, foul-mouthed, racist, blaming. I mean, they're not in residential school and they can't stop talking about residential schools. They just literally projectile vomit up the blame game. They don't even say hello. They puke it on everybody. It's as if you've trained all these, it's not as if, you're training all these youth to be the next generation of extortionists, to blame. I mean, it's so tragic what you're doing with this dialogue, this Indian industry, extorting off of innocent taxpayers, creating more divisiveness. You're the segregationist, nobody else is but you. You natives create, the Indian industry creates this us and them dialogue. Nobody else does that but you. You know, we're forced to engage in this dialogue with you, and then you have the audacity to come online and say, who's us, who's them, you know, the smart ass stuff we got. The dialogue, you play it from every single angle. You are the victims at the same time that you're the bullies, demanding everything. It's absolutely unbelievable bullying. The abuse that we have seen online from the Aboriginal communities has been so telling as to what has really gone wrong in your communities. You can't tell me differently. You can't blame anything on me, since I am the receiver of all that hatred from natives across the nation. It's really interesting how you guys manipulate the language so well, magic language. That was so well coined. You manipulate so many words, genocide being one of them. But natives will come to my page on Facebook and say that I'm a hate page. And it's unbelievable because the only hate we ever get is from the natives. It's absolutely staggering hatred. I don't own your hate, you own your own hate. If you hate my page, it's because you need to look inside yourself at your own racism. That's your own hatred. We're talking about race laws in Canada which are wrong. And you know the answers that we get? When I put out a video or when I put out a post that says the Aboriginals have proved that their dialogue is showing no indication of caring about, having compassion for anyone else who is not their race. And then how do the Aboriginals answer those statements? They come and attack everyone. They don't show 1 ounce of caring compassion. All they do is say, you raped and murdered our children. 20-year-old people who don't have children say, you raped and murdered our children. I guess that's because I have the same skin color as what they think some priest had. Like, what is white? You don't really know, and yet the natives can't stop talking about white, and the youth just white are ruining the earth, and only we can save the earth, and only we can bring you clean water. How? They don't even know how. They just say this stuff, and we're supposed to buy it, and it's racist rhetoric. It's propaganda. It's absolute, it's lies. It's lying and lying and lying and lying. You have a lying problem in your culture. Somebody came to you and lied to you, and you spread it across all of your race-based territory, communities, that you, I don't know more, were the only people who could save the earth. We're the only people who are going to save clean water. You haven't got a clue how to bring clean. Where does your shit go? You don't even know where your shit goes. Your human waste goes into pipelines and other people take care of it. The people in industry and in innovation take care of figuring out how to solve those problems. You protesting and trying to stop people from doing industry isn't doing anything for clean water. Zero. Absolutely zero. And even a dam spilling and a mine leaking some of the earth into the water, that can get fixed and that can get cleaned up too. You know, there are natural disasters that happen too. We don't see you freaking out about all those things. You are using your race to purposefully pummel Canada and pummel white people. You have this obsession with white people. I know it. Nobody can dispute it. I have heard from thousands and thousands and thousands of natives from across this country telling everyone. So it's clearly they've been told this script. They've been taught to say, get an education, because every last one of them says that to people who are way more educated than they are. And the natives don't know anything about other people's history. If they did, they would see that everyone else had a worse history than they did. They sound like sissies. It's just absolutely terrible what this native studies and all the propaganda that's gone into their communities and the youth. The stuff we hear is absolutely staggering. There was one girl on my Facebook last night on the page who talked about how her uncle kept telling her over and over and over again, very key in this story, over and over and over again, recreating whatever horror he needed to create in his mind over and over and over again, of his residential school days when he was raped every day. Every day, he was raped every day. Every day, eh? Every day? Really, every day. Well, I'll tell you, that's been said by thousands and thousands and thousands of Aboriginals now. And there was no court case. No one had to prove anything. There was no cross-examination. None of the teachers or priests were ever put on the stand to say yes or no, to admit it, to deny it. None of the teachers who really cared and loved those kids were all dragged down into this complete slandering, vilifying, evil dissent we all had to take with the Aboriginal dialogue about the residential school. You know, people built those schools and tried hard to educate the Aboriginals, and this is the thanks we get. No thanks. Zero. Zero. Nobody gets thanks for helping the Aboriginals ever about anything. It's always bad. And so because they've been successful in this blame game of continuously harping on the misery that came of any experience, they never can hone in on the joy of any experience. So there's no history in any of their native studies that is a good thing about meeting other people, other cultures, colonialism, this day and age. No, it is just a constant puking up, literally. I can't tell you what it's like to sit in my seat and hear from natives all across the nation who just attack you. They're not going to residential school, but they're talking to you as if you're the priest who is raping their children right now at this very moment. It's unbelievable racism. It's unbelievable bullying. We need court cases now to hold the natives accountable for this massive lying problem that they've got. No one is challenging any of this dialogue. No one. They've been able to get away with all of this. There's been no court case to prove these allegations of sexual abuse. We have people on our Facebook page who have come to say my aunt got money when she was told to lie about being sexually abused in the residential school, and she got money. We have those people on our Facebook page and Race-Based Law. Oh no, we've heard a lot of stories. And we know there were good stories, lots and lots of good stories out of the residential schools. Many kids who were pulled from homes where their lives were safer in the residential schools, where they got fed 3 meals a day and they were not being molested. How come the Natives never talk about their own incest problems, their own abuse problems, their own murder rates? How come they never talk about the past when the Iroquois genocided other tribes? Like, this is clearly an extortion game. It's continuous blame, and now, you know, they murder each other, and now we're to blame for their missing Indigenous women. It's absolute, I mean, it's just a really sickening game of continuous blame. It's absolutely gotten hideous. It's really hard to listen to them on a daily basis on Race-Based Law. I just have to ban it all. I mean, kids who are 20 years old, you know, with Gucci purses and iPhones, literally coming to call us genocidal murderers who raped their children. That has to be some kind of a defamation and slander suit. The Aboriginals have to start being held accountable for this dialogue. Everybody died of smallpox. It is so wrong for the Aboriginals to use those stories of mass graves to blame anybody. I mean, why can't they be thankful for inoculations? How come they don't repeat stories over and over and over again on all of their many websites paid for by Canadian taxpayers to blame Canada for everything? Why can't they commend inoculation, commend colonialism and other cultures for all of the great things that they brought to the Natives to make their lives more comfortable? How come they can never say thanks, never be appreciative, never, the dialogue is never that. It's always about how Canada's oppressing them, when really that's the game they're playing so they can bully Canada. They call everybody a racist and say it's oppression if you don't give them their way. It's not oppression. They're bullies. Trust me. Oh my God, we've heard it all. I mean, it's like they're gangs. They are gangs online, and they literally abuse people to such a low and degrading and depraved level. It's just, you can see their social problems online. The language, the dialogue, the treatment. When I say they treat us like filth, no one talks to the Natives the way they talk to us. No one talks about their culture the way they talk about us. I'm referring to the way that they abuse us, and they think I shouldn't be allowed to. They give me heck for talking about them in a disparaging way, but they don't give a crap how they, and then they come and they abuse me and call me a racist cunt. And then they say I shouldn't be talking about them that way, but then meanwhile they continue swearing at me, saying filthy things, degrading my family, anything they can, just filthy personal things. And then I'm supposed to not say that about them. Like, they literally prove it every time they come to our page. You guys have, Natives, you have a really serious problem with the dialogue of constant blame against white people. You're just absolute sissy blamers. It was just school. It was just school. School. Last 24 hours of, oh, how can you say that? Oh my God. And back to the girl who said her uncle never stopped talking about it. Of course, he never stopped talking about it, even though school was over. And even if he was molested a couple of times. The fact that he couldn't stop talking about it over and over again and telling her about it and making her relive that and making her bring that to me, who isn't responsible for it, and she's not responsible for it, and he's not still going through it, that's his fault. His fault, his problem. Natives, get therapy. That's it, just get therapy. Stop bothering everybody else with, we don't come to you with, other people were molested too. Other people have issues and problems too. They're the ones that are giving you the money. And you can't say thanks. So say thanks. Get the therapy that you need for any kind, and stop making your children attack innocent taxpayers for residential schools. Say thank you for the education. Say thank you for the 3 square meals a day. Say thank you for being pulled from extremely alcoholic families in many instances. It wasn't the best idea to remove children from a village. We all agree with that. I mean, life is a constant experiment in moving towards what we learned in this experience and what we can do better in this experience. That's all it's ever been. Stop blaming people for the progress of mankind, for life itself. It's just absolutely awful what you do to people who are not Native. The blame game. We're all here, we're all staying. Adjust. The fact that you can't adjust all these hundreds of years later, and you're still talking about now your kids are talking about residential schools. You've done a terrible job with this. The people who are to blame for this dialogue should be put in jail. It's inciting hate, it's defamation, it's slander. It's just, and it's so corrupt to do that to people's minds, to fill them with misery all the time. You know, the number one thing in AA to get sober is to not nurture resentments. And gee, there you are, that's your entire culture, is nurturing resentments. Put two and two together. You're never, ever, ever going to be able to solve any of your social problems when you're continuously nurturing misery and blame. I mean, your racism and your blame is absolutely unbelievable. You can't even listen to real people say, stop, we've had enough. There's no respect for us at all. We just get called racist and you brush us off. You attack us and call us all sorts of names. Literally proving my point. Literally proving how badly you treat Canadians. So all of you who came to my page, End Race-Based Law, all of you who will come to my page, End Race-Based Law, just remember that. Every time you come, you prove me right, not wrong, right. No matter how hard you try to abuse me and say terrible things about me, you only prove me right. When one of you comes and says, gee, we should really be listening to the hardworking taxpayers of Canada, and we're sorry that we're doing this to you, that'll be the day. Thousands and thousands and thousands of you keep proving me right. And then you blame me for your image. Not going to work. Until you guys can really get on board and end race-based law, you are the racist thugs in this country. Nobody else. You are the racists. You are the oppressors. Until you can actually say, yes, we're on board. We get it that we are all one and that we have to have equality here. We can't have this divisiveness and this segregation. Until you can do that, you are the racist thugs. Sorry, that's just the way it goes. And race-based law.